Today we're 3D printing, assembling and painting a Hummer. And this is a tuned Hummer to make it look cartoony when we 3D print it out. And these are all the parts we're printing off today. There'll be a link in the description below to the original designer's files, they're all free. And this is definitely an awesome model to assemble. As you can see here, we've got our main structure, which is the Hummer, along with its wheels and its rims. Now, I've printed off and made multiple of these different designs from the same designer, and this is the first one that actually needs supports on the main body. And I've gone for tree supports on this one. So overall, this is a really good build and a lot of fun. So let's first of all clean up our main body, get all that supports off, and you can go for a different support type here, but I thought this went good and was actually really simple to clean up. Next, I went and painted it. So I gave it an olive paint job, but I didn't want it to look military. I wanted this to be more like a consumer Hummer. So I gave it a gloss coat as well, and it really darkened up the green and made it look like something you might go and actually buy that would be a legit civilian Hummer here. And I also added some white for the headlights and red for the tail lights. Now, these are separate pieces you can actually print off and then paint up and glue on, but I like actually painting the holes that they're supposed to actually be fitted into when it comes to those. But that is us done with our major overall body. Looks brilliant right now. I'm loving the style of this. And then we've got our rims and our tires. And these are simple to glue together because of course the wedge shape means that just press into the hole and you're done. And of course just a touch of glue to make sure they're in place. The rims themselves also painted up beautifully. I decided to add a bit of silver onto them and did the same olive with clear coat. And overall I'm extremely happy with how this one's actually coming out. We've also got the windows to add onto this too, and originally I was kind of thinking, should I paint them or should I use the printed pieces that we've got for them? So I decided to go with the printed pieces, but I do like the inset design. Again, you could have easily painted it, and then as a result, I think it would have ended up looking good. But we still have all of this to actually build and put together. So let's go ahead and do that. And we'll fast forward through the window assembly. This is pretty simple, just make sure you get the right bits and then start gluing them down. It was pretty good for overall sizing, like the actual space they went into was pretty damn good. The only ones were those slithers of windows on the back were extremely tight. The rest of them went in a lot better and overall just ended up being really fun to do. And still split whether I should have just painted it, maybe even put a gloss black paint in the holes. Might have ended up looking cool. But overall, I'm very happy with the overall appearance of this as we get towards the end, and they just look really freaking good. So very happy with this. This might even become my favorite one of these. Of course, I've done quite a few now of this design, and as you can tell, I'm loving building them and making videos about them, and I hope this designer keeps making more. And then we're on to the final part, which is attaching our wheels, and then we're done. So this ended up being a bit more complicated than I was expecting because every other one of these models is just a simple matter of turn it over, put the pins in, put the wheels in, you're done. Whereas this one was a bit of a surprise. So as you can see here, the wheels go together beautifully, and I think they look excellent. But when I turned it over to put the pins in, that's where I was like, wait a minute, there's not enough room to actually fit these pins in. So if you do wiggle it upside down with the flat piece down low, it does go in. But man, it was like, I'm actually thinking, is that capable of going in? I was really surprised at first because the rest have not had this issue at all. They've just gone in without any clearance issues. But of course here, I was like, wait a minute. I'm going to have to actually make sure I've got everything lined up properly and then they go in. So a lot closer than I was expecting. And at first I was a little bit like, oh, this might not work. But no, it did. And once you get them in there, it's all good. But that does mean like make sure you don't glue it all up to begin with. Make sure you get the pins in first and then start gluing it up after that. Otherwise, you could have issues getting the rest of them in if they're not in at the right angle. But there we go. All the wheels coming in beautifully. And this thing is effectively done. So I'm extremely happy with this one. It may actually be my favorite now. And it just looks great. The clear coat on the olive green ended up looking superb. And let's just add our final piece here. and we're complete. And yeah, I think it really has a nice look of being this non-military Humvee, and I'm very happy with the overall paint job, very happy with how it's come out. I might potentially have done things a little bit differently when it comes to the windows, but overall I think the style and look of it is perfect, and yeah, really, really happy with it. Like, I cannot say anything better about this thing. It looks absolutely gorgeous. Really nice design, and you get that very much, of course, cartoon appearance out of your 3D printer with this one, and very easy to do. You could, of course, do this with no paint whatsoever and do it all with filaments. Like I said, the lights are actually separate parts, so you got a lot of options here.